Hi, I'm here today with Patrick Kelly from Appledore, and we'd like to talk about the new network automation software report that Appledore has just published and their views overall on the network automation space. So this is a really impactful report that you just came out with. Can you talk a little bit about the report itself and why it is valuable to service providers?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jean.
Yeah.
We conduct hundreds of interviews over the course of the year with both service providers and suppliers like Nokia, mostly to really try and understand the direction of the market. So we do some sizing. We do actually a forecast, and the report that you're referencing is a market share for the network automation software market. And so that's something we just published, and we cover it on a global basis. I think in the report we look at 100 or so suppliers specifically to the telecommunications market for network automation software.
Mm-hmm. Great. So in this research that you conduct, what did you uncover that's in the report this year? What direction is the space going? What are some of the major trends that you found?
If I back up a bit, one of the things that Appledore is focused on is really how you can improve efficiency in running the network and serving the customer. And so we sort of coined the term network automation software. It's somewhat of a transition, Gene. So in the past, you had a lot of systems that were very domain specific. So IP, optical, domain management, there were element management systems, network management systems. You had customer care and billing systems. And one of the things that we've noted in the industry is you're seeing a shift towards trying to focus on digital enablement, which is the monetization of the network asset, and then at the same time automating a lot of the functions for the build out and the deployment of the network. And this particular report looks at that aspect of network automation. So there's a subset of components that we've looked at. One's cross-domain service orchestration. We look at observability and data management, which would include things like inventory and the topology. Obviously, AIOPS. We're at this show, and AIOPS is an area that is highly important in this automation journey. And things like continuous deployment, continuous test, those are all critical components that we see in this transition towards automating a lot of the functions in the network.
So you're taking kind of more of a forward-looking and holistic approach instead of the traditional domains.
Yeah, I mean, those systems are still going to be around.
Right.
As you know, they're very sticky. So
Yes.
when you put those systems, if an operator put an optical management system in their environment, they're there for a decade or more, so sometimes a couple decades. So the obvious area where if you want to automate a lot of the functions in the network that you need to focus on is exposing the data, having a common data model, and then orchestrating across all these different technology domains. And that's the essence of of network automation software.
When I read the report, one thing that really stood out to me was the phenomenal growth of the AIOPS segment that you're measuring here. And of course, we all know AIOPS is hugely important. What are your thoughts on why that's growing so quickly and why that is so important to service providers?
Yeah, it's a small segment of the overall market, but it's growing very rapidly. So we're in a period right now where we've moved from proof of concept into more early production systems. And so we're seeing double-digit growth in that market segment. And we expect that growth to continue over the next 3 to 5 years when we kind of forecast out. The other area that has had pretty solid growth over the last few years, single-digit growth over the last year, was cross-domain service orchestration.
Right.
But that's an area that's been highly important for operators, particularly as they start to expose the network. They need to wrap their arms around, okay, if they're going to expose an API, network as a service, for example, you have to have access into multiple domains, so you have to build out that critical part of the infrastructure.
Right, right. Or slicing, for example.
Slicing
another way of
is,
monetizing
yeah,
the
slicing private networks. I mean, there's all kinds of, Industry 4.0 examples and other examples where, operators are trying to generate more revenue because of the investment that they made in 5G. And as we move from 5G non-standalone to standalone, and then eventually into 6G, more and more software makes its way into the network, and therefore you're seeing, sort of the setup, if you will, on how do I orchestrate all of these functions and expose that potentially to third parties.
Yeah, exactly.
Gene, give me your take on what you're seeing in the customers that you sell to, and how that relates to this particular report.
I think that network automation software is really foundational to what we're hearing all of our customers talk about these days. Our customers are all on this journey towards more autonomous networks that can sense, think, and act. And having things like AI operations and cross-domain service orchestration and the other capabilities that you look at there are really important, both for improving their automation levels, their efficiency, and, as you said, monetizing these network investments that they've made, whether it's through exposing APIs, slicing, all of the different ways of monetizing the network. So these are the big themes, the move to autonomous networks that our customers talk to us a lot about. And as you said, it's very much underpinned by the network automation software. And just from a Nokia perspective, we were really delighted as part of your research to be named #1 overall in the network automation software, as well as in the areas of AI operations and cross-domain service orchestration. Those are areas that we are investing in very heavily to help our customers along this journey.
Excellent. Thanks for having me, Gene.
Great. Thank you very much.